Terence Crawford has been formally elevated and ranked by the WBO as the official #1 contender for their super middleweight title currently held by Canelo Alvarez. Now, even though Canelo versus Crawford is already happening for the undisputed 168 title, which includes the WBO belt, this recognition basically adds a bit more of legitimacy and formality in regards to Crawford being handed the opportunity despite the lack of experience per se in the said division. This is also the WBO's way of making sure that everybody is well aware that Terence Crawford is not only the legitimate contender against Canelo, but also has the formal, official, and legal privileges to compete for the 168-pound title. In a memo released by the sanctioning body, it was revealed that Crawford formally submitted a request to be named as the #1 contender at 168 with the mandatory challenger distinction. Now, after submitting this request, the WBO said that based on Crawford's previous accomplishments and despite the lack of participation at 168, 160, and only fighting at 154 once, Terence Crawford is still more than deserving than other 168-pound fighters, thus he's being formally recognized as the official #1 contender against Canelo Alvarez. Think of it this way, Terence Crawford is pretty much just being formally recognized as Canelo's legal and legitimate mandatory challenger, so that when people criticize as to why Canelo is fighting Crawford, the WBO can submit the paperwork saying that, well, Crawford was legally bound to challenge Canelo since he is the legal mandatory challenger. So yeah, Crawford is being ranked #1 behind Canelo at 168 due to his accomplishments at 147 and below. Now, this doesn't really change anything in regards to Canelo versus Crawford this coming September, but kinda just adds a bit more legitimacy behind it. Critics are now saying that even though they're not necessarily questioning Crawford's accomplishments, this feels like a slap to the face for the rest of the 168 fighters. The thing is, even though Canelo versus Crawford is already happening and that Crawford is bypassing multiple divisions and fighters and basically skipping the line, which is unfortunately a normal thing in boxing that's practiced by a lot of fighters nowadays, having this being formally allowed still makes fans sometimes scratch their heads in regards to how sanctioning bodies make decisions. I mean, the WBC just ranked Hamza Shiraz as the 168 mandatory a few days ago after defeating Berlanga. This was despite the fact that the Berlanga fight was Shiraz's division debut, basically allowing him to skip everybody on the WBC's top 10 168-pound list of fighters. How did that happen? Well, it's pretty obvious, and at this point, it's like an open secret. Also, just recently, Pacquiao versus Barrios. Manny was gone for 4 years and miraculously became the challenger for a world title. Now, I'm not hating on Pacquiao, but let's just be real for a moment. This whole ranking system is trash and no one really follows it. Rules are always bent, and fighters who hold titles are also well aware of this and usually takes advantage of it. But yeah, anyway, let me know your thoughts about this. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button for more quick talks.